I would say, one of the first reasons why we have, we could say it like this, to kind of talk about Isaac. Yeah. To talk about it in a similar way that Ashik went about talking about it. See, if we start from, okay, who were the leaders that we had at independence? Mm-hmm. You think about the Nkrumahs, the Kenyattas, the Nyeres, etc. Now, those were people who sincerely cared about Africa, right? And we can point to them and say, those were, the fathers, they were the visionaries. But nonetheless, they were surrounded with people who were, either uneducated, unprepared, unprimed for the things that they went on to do. Furthermore, I think that, that started then and is happening today, is that the environment, the political environment in which they're in enables such things as corruption. I mean, you think that the whole kind of set of foreign aid, for instance, it's very easy because they're getting all this money for them to just steal it and nothing really happens. I think your colleague raised a very important point. He said that development can't happen without empowerment, right? And so the reason why I would say that the main reason why our leaders are so bad is because our people are so unempowered. And as long as the people can't hold the governors responsible, accountable for their actions, they're going to be able to do whatever they want. There's the famous adage or the famous quote from the time of in Ghana when some people were doing some corrupt things, and the Nkrumah's workers, and somebody said, you probably shouldn't be doing this. And the guy says to him, Nkrumah has killed such a large elephant that we all can eat. And so the idea is, I think that, it's such a situation where, I think that the African people, if we talk in general, don't really know, they have no way of knowing, okay, where's this money, where's this, how can they keep them accountable? And so I think that's given us a facilitation of ongoing corruption.
Okay. So the words, you want to say something?
Yeah. Actually,
this should be informal, so just want everybody to. You're here already, so you might want to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, like Ashir said when we started, we lost ourselves. I think that one more kind of implies our leaders, especially they have so much motivation, they have so much reasons to be in power and everything, which are mainly good reasons. But then once they get into the power, they kind of get. I don't know what the term for it is, but the power kind of takes over them, and so they become kind of self-motivated. They lose their main objective. They lose their main objective, and they drift by. Let's say, for example, a president comes in with a main objective to reduce poverty in a certain region, right? And so he gets a lot of aid to do that. But then with all the corruption going on and stuff, he sees if Fulani and Fulani are doing this, it should be okay for me to do that. And so he loses his main concentration to do such a thing, and then by that destroys his own aim and lets the greed inside him take over and sort of kind of like lose their self or lose his main ambition.
So basically we're agreeing on the leaders.
Yeah.
No. Ashek has left. I don't know who's going to push to the next slide, or maybe, so you'll be the next guy?
Got it.
All right. So who are the leaders that we're talking about here? How do you define leaders? That's an important question.
We can define leaders in many ways.
But the leader that you're referring to, I assume are the president, the ministers,
the people who are in charge of the community or the society.
Okay. Now I'll tell you I want you to tell 3 stories, or 2 stories, and then I'll ask you the same question when we define leaders.
That's what you can tell 3.
Okay. Well,
unless they're very long.
I'm joking. I'm making sure. Well, so far, just to have a reference, the leaders are the president, minister. In 2003, when I was living in Ivory Coast, I had a friend. He's probably the best guy I've ever known. Many years or so. He's the brightest guy because every time we take an exam, he had the best grade. We couldn't even compete with him. And in 2003, I finished my undergrad. I came here to do a master's in PhD in petroleum engineering. And I think it was 2 months before there was a cab driver. He went out to celebrate because we all graduated together. And he went out to celebrate with a few friends. And there was a cab driver with their cabs and he was drunk. And my friend came, I think he came out of the bar to call somebody. And the cab driver was drunk. He came and hit him and pushed him and crashed into a wall. Basically, I just don't want to go deep into it. But the same cab driver, there was a checkpoint, like there were policemen that he passed. They stopped and checked his IDs and everything. They knew he was drunk. They let him go. Who's the leader? The first question. We'll come back again. I'm not sure if you guys followed the story in 2006. There was a major problem in Ivory Coast regarding toxic waste. Anybody knows? Like highly toxic. I mean, petroleum engineering, so I know they were like petroleum byproduct. When you refine petroleum, like a highly toxic part, you don't know what to do, so they just send it to very qualified. I'd say there are companies that treat those waste. And since we don't have strong institutions, they decided to ship it to, I think they came from Netherlands, went to Ivory Coast, and they got to the port. The director of the port gave them there as one person. The port authorities, whoever is supposed to read the sign, they knew it was highly toxic, but they just signed. There were truck drivers, private truck drivers that came there, told them these are very dangerous chemicals. They agreed to sign and take those highly toxic radioactive compounds and put them somewhere in the sea. As a result, more than 700 people had to suffer the major effect. Everybody knows. Again, I'm not going to tell the third story, but we can, for example, I only went to Liberia about, when was that? A few months ago. He was telling me that in the whole country of Liberia, there are 4 incubators, meaning when a woman gives birth and the baby has some problem, premature baby, you need these incubators. There are 4 for the whole country. Who is supposed to make a decision to order extra incubators? Is it the president, the minister, the nurse, whoever? So again, we come back, who are the leaders in those 3 stories? Now choose whoever should answer my question. Is that fair? Can I choose someone? Okay, those who haven't said anything. I'll start with my friend there who volunteered. What's your name?
Mustafa.
Mustafa, where are you from?
Tanzania.
Nice, okay. So who do you think are the leaders in those, at least the first story, where there were police officers? They're supposed to, check whoever is driving, make sure he's not drunk. Who's the leader there? Is it the president or the policeman? At that very moment.
At that moment, it would have to be the police officers. If they're entrusted with the power to protect, they would have to have the power to know and stop that guy from driving on.
Okay.
If they realize that he's drunk, they have to realize he's putting people's lives in danger and he should be able to drive.
So even if the president is driving and he's drunk, he should stop.
Yeah.
Right? So he's the absolute leader at that time.
At that time and period, if that guy driving, he was at a checkpoint.
But I think, I agree. But that being said, we have to ask the question, why do the policemen in the United States stop somebody?
We'll get into that later,
Because I would say that again it ends up falling somewhere else. Because there's something about accountability here.
Yeah, but if you were that person who's the victim, you would hope that policeman stops him because your life depends on his actions. We come back to the second story. Anybody want to tell me the leader in the toxic waste problem? Where you have the director of the port, the truck driver. When something is radioactive, it takes hundreds of years sometimes to get rid of the primary effect. And some of them knew. Now, when we're coming out, just telling Roland, the Minister of Transportation, he was interviewed by one of the French, I think it was a French journalist. He asked him, we saw your signature on the paper allowing these guys to come in. He told them on TV, not just national but international, TV, he said, when it comes to me, at this point, it's just a format.